Hi, Mordechai Gary Neuman here in sunny South Florida, and I'm looking forward to spending time together this Pesach at the PGA. The Schiffman and Fruscher families have asked me to offer my Deeper Connection series of talks aimed at helping all of us make our relationships more meaningful. They asked me to let you know about the talks in advance so that we could all get the most out of them. We'll be starting with Connecting to Your Husband, based on my international research. By the way, men, if you don't make it and bring your wife to this first one, don't come crying to me later when you see those couples who were at the talk having a much nicer Pesach than you. Next up, we'll be Connecting to Your Wife. Women, bring your men to this one, or else they'll never believe you when you tell them what I've said. On Shabbos, we'll be discussing how to connect to your spiritual self, and we'll use the last days to connect to your kids and teens, and finish up with connecting to your parents and in-laws. I don't even have to convince you to come to that one. By the way, this year, attendance is mandatory. No, not really, but I can promise you this about every one of my talks. Never before and never ever will my talks come between you and food. Think about it. Hey, I approached some random couples here in South Florida about these topics, and here's what they had to say. There's one thing you could change about your mother-in-law. What would that be?
Well, my mother-in-law has a very strange ratio of she loves to cook, she's not a very good cook. So I would flip that ratio around to make her a much better cook and trying to feed us less often.
Yeah. What I think is that you cannot live in the same place, in the same house.
What's the number one thing you can do to make a woman happy in a relationship?
I would say always do the dishes after she cooks.
To make a woman happy, take care of herself, supporting in her job, and to be a coach in her life, and always kiss her.
Tell me, what's the number one thing you can do to make a man happy in a relationship?
It's the little things, because I don't think they notice all the little, like the big things, but you know, for example, when I switch cars, I always remember to take his sunglasses out without him saying, so that if he goes in the new car, he has it.
Well, a lot of communication, a lot of understanding, and I think to be open, to have an open mind.
What's the most important thing in a marriage?
Developing listening skills. I think it takes time, and then you get to learn each other in that way.
Also, I'd love to hear from you about any questions you may have about any of these topics, so that I can hopefully incorporate your thoughts into my talks or answer your questions. I'll keep them anonymous, so email me any thoughts to mgary@mgaryneuman.com. Finally, I've included a page of ideas sent through email aimed at helping you get started to think seriously about our topics, so you can get the most out of our time together, and completing them can also give you a chance to consider what you'd like to ask me. See you soon.